Since you said something that like really stood out to me, and that's that whole idea of crowdfunding. So I know you specifically mentioned GoFundMe, but when you mentioned that, I just thought about like how people typically do things in our communities. So, again, obviously the African diaspora, if we find ourselves in new lands, we tend to like make communities amongst ourselves. So maybe your parents are probably like part of some kind of like Cameroonian association.
Mhm.
My family might be part of like a Nigerian association, or maybe from your ethnic group or from your home state. All these different types of things of ways to find ways to create, ways to establish senses of community while we're living abroad. And as you mentioned, these are like when people pass, the idea or the what people kind of think, okay, once this person passes, I'm going to join this. I'm joining this association so that if I have a situation like this happen in my family, this association will help me cover those expenses because I'm a member and this is, my community away from home, that kind of thing. Which, as you rightly said, yes, of course, we establish these communities for these reasons, to have a sense of community, a home away from home, but it's not a guarantee. Even if they raise $10,000 for you, you still have other things that you need to take care of after, you lost, your father or your mother, whoever the person is. Like, it's not, yes, they can help you bury the person or whatever those funds are able to cover, but outside of that, what else? So I love the fact that you mentioned that. I think it's important for us to think outside of, okay, my community can help me with this. Yes, it's good to rely on these people or rely on the community, but it's better to rely on yourself and rely on what you can do and what you can do for your next generation. And I love everything that you said,
Yeah,
sis.
and
So I
I
don't know.
think
Yeah, go ahead.
it also preserves like your dignity, right?
Mm,
Because, for example, like my aunt, she had cancer. I didn't know she had cancer. But if she didn't have the funds to take care of herself while she had cancer, everybody would have known she had cancer,
right.
right? And that's the thing. Like, sometimes you want to preserve your dignity. Everybody doesn't have to know what is going on in your life. Everybody doesn't have to know that you're going through treatment, or like, maybe you had a life-changing diagnosis and you're trying to work through it. Like, the whole world doesn't have to be in your business, come into your house because they say like, I'm coming to help you.
Right.
Right? Because that's all
I
people
know what
coming
that
through
means.
your doors, but you're
Yeah,
probably just carrying gossip and spreading it around the community,
I know. It's
right?
unfortunate.
So once you're able to preserve your dignity because you don't need people and your funds,
Hmm.
and you don't have to make decisions based on what this person says and that person says and blah blah blah, like, it allows you to choose you. Because some people have those funds and they don't necessarily go through with treatment. But now, like, you can make a decision that's best for you, not a decision based on desperation.
Right.
The desperation of, I don't know, like, because if I don't get the treatment, then what happens to my family, and I get sicker and this and that, and you're like, I have to go to work and I have to figure this out. Like, that's stress.
Hmm.
Your quality of life is depleted. But then once you have the funds, it's like, do I really want to put my body through that? Do I want to go through treatment? Is it worth it? It's a different decision altogether. And you're not banking on this person and that person and that person and that person coming into your business and doing this and doing that.
Right.
Because, it's like, I love my community, but at the same time I'm able to choose me, independent
Mhm.
of what anybody else says or thinks or wants.
That's right.